What's going on, guys? DStyleBoxing here. All right, first of all, this video is not in any way, shape, or form. It's not meant to make anybody feel good, okay? I'm just telling you that right now. I understand this is a very controversial topic, but I'm going to let my thoughts out here, okay? I have no problems whatsoever giving my thoughts. By the way, good news, before I continue, good news, my channel's in good standing, okay? That's the good news. So I haven't gotten a response yet, but the standing on the channel changed. So I think they realized they messed up, or the system anyway. They probably looked at it, but I'm still trying to get the video up. Like until the video comes up, I ain't gonna stop. But that's a good news. Second of all right. Second of all, the last video, as you could see. It's all black, the screen, because they weren't letting me stream anything. Okay, they weren't letting me put any type of picture up because I was a bad boy according to YouTube. That's why the screen is black the whole time. All right, and now you can actually see the DStyle logo in the middle. I hope you can anyway, because that means I'm back to good standing. Anyway, all right, I'm gonna read this letter. Okay, first of all, honest to God, the overreaction of some people it's astonishing to me. Okay, it's astonishing. It honestly is. It's one of the most astonishing things I have witnessed in my life. Okay, it's unbelievable, right? There is absolutely no there is no consensus here whatsoever at all. Like you have so many people with so many different opinions, and there's a lot of people in between, and even in the in-betweens they have disagreements. So I just want to make that clear, right? Does the NFL want this controversy? No. Is there anything the NFL could do that will please everybody? No. There's nothing they do is going to please everybody, and the NFL knows that. So the NFL just decided, you know what we're going to do? We're going to go ahead and take the correct route, which is what I believe they're doing. Okay, they're basically saying that this is a freedom of speech issue, a freedom of expression issue, and people can't seem to grasp that. Okay, now look, I've seen all types of people. Okay, I've seen veterans say this doesn't offend me, right? I've seen all types of. I've seen veterans say it does offend me. I've seen widows of soldiers that have died in war saying, "Well, this offends me." I've seen all types of people. Okay, and the vice versas, and this and the third. If they do fire these guys, there's going to be a firestorm. If they don't do anything, there's a so-called firestorm. No matter what they do, they're not going to please everybody, right? No matter what the NFL does, not everyone's going to be pleased, period. So what do? They might as well take the route that's going to, at the very least, in terms of history, not make them look bad historically, right? A lot of people have a very short-term way of thinking, and they don't understand that society will progress over time, and people will look back at these times and scratch their heads and wonder, why the hell were people overreacting like this? Just like, you know, this is very, very, very similar. It's in a way, it's not the same, but it's similar to what happened to the Dixie Chicks during the Iraq War. It's very similar, right? They couldn't voice their opinion against the president of the United States because it was time of war and they were outcasted from country. The only problem that people are having here is that, like in country music, it is dominated, okay, by Middle America and the South. It's dominated there, all right? Patriotism dominates in country music. It dominates, all right? Where in the NFL, everybody watches football, not just Middle America, okay? It's, you know, it's everybody watches football. All the minorities watch football too. All right. A lot of African Americans watch football. This is literally America's game. Everybody watches the game. Right. So one group of people doesn't dominate over it. So they can't just, they've outcasted one guy, the one who started this shit, Colin Kaepernick. Right. He doesn't even have a team right now. And you have individuals walking around claiming, well, he's not that good. That's why he's not in the NFL. Bullshit, okay? He could easily be a starter in a lot of teams, all right? A lot of those quarterbacks are not very good, all right? And you're telling me he can't even be a second string or a third string? Get the hell out of here, okay? Anyway, we're going to go over this. This is why I started doing this video, this letter, right? And before I read over it, let me say the following, all right? Let me say the following. I am all for praising people, right? But when people start throwing the fact that you should praise them in your face, that's when I start having a problem, okay? Because let me make this very clear, okay? Let me make this very clear. I understand that we need an army, and I understand we need service members, okay, and all that, and that's basically without an army, without service members, you can't defend yourself, okay? You really don't have a country. I get all that, right? But I'm not your average fool. Like I don't buy into this military-industrial complex mentality of worshiping members of the military, okay? If you want to join the military, you're going to do that voluntarily. Nobody's going to force you. I applaud you for doing it, but do not throw it in my face. All right? Just don't do that. That ain't your right. Right? If you're joining the military just because you want praise, you're joining the military for all the wrong reasons. All right? If you don't like the pay you're getting in the military, that's literally not my problem, right? I pay my taxes. What the government does with that money is out of my control, bruh, okay? I am against military intervention. I don't want guys getting their legs blown off. I don't want people getting shot at, okay, for wars that have nothing to do with our self-defense and more to do, okay, with American imperialism, all right? I didn't want guys to go to Iraq and get bombed. I didn't want guys to go to Afghanistan. I don't want more troops in Afghanistan. I want the troops out of Afghanistan. I want the troops out of Iraq. I want the troops out of the Middle East. I don't want troops getting shot at for whatever you want to call it. It's not for our freedom. They're not fighting for our freedom. That is a false narrative. That's not true. All right? So I appreciate the service of all service members. Good for you, okay? All right, that's great. And hopefully, you get a GI Bill out of it. You could do, make yourself something out of it. A lot of the majority of people that join the military come from poor neighborhoods. And guess what? The military has a lot of Hispanics in it. It has a lot of African Americans in it. It's not exclusive to one group of people. All right, so I just want to, just throwing that out there. My uncle served, okay? My father served, right? In some capacity. And my grandfather served, okay? He couldn't even get a military funeral, right? So it's for one reason, because he was Hispanic, all right? Simple as that, all right? So there's a lot of, issues that we could touch on, right? And I'm all for, for that, but I just want to make that clear and abundantly clear, okay? Way too many people have this blind, kind of thought process when it comes to the military. I mean, the military needs, the Pentagon can't account for $1 trillion that are lost. Who cares? It's the military. They do nothing wrong, okay? Leave them alone. You're right. They can't do nothing wrong. It's not possible, right? It's no. They need to be held accountable just like everybody else. Okay. When they make the choice of joining the military, they take an oath, right? Right. That's what they do. And that's to protect the Constitution, right? So and if you know the Constitution, you know that freedom of speech and freedom of expression is part of that, right? You can't call this country the place of freedom, and we're not like those countries that forces people to love this country. Here, we love it willingly. You can't say that, yet when someone isn't doing that, try to outcast them, try to get them fired, okay, call them son of a bitches, this, that, and the third. All right? You can't do that. Because then you're no different to, the fascist countries out there that, just pledge allegiance to their dear leaders and to a flag and to the country, all right? Just with blind faith. That's not, at least I would think, that's not what we want to be, right? Like, we shouldn't be demanding that somebody stands up. Maybe you should say, I hope one day he does stand up. But you shouldn't be demanding it. That way, when they do stand up, you can say to yourself, look, he's learned to appreciate it, and he stood up on his own will. Because now when they stand up, you don't know if they did it to save their jobs. You don't know if how they really feel inside, and But anyway, let's go over this damn letter, right? Let's go over it really quick. All right, so this is from a retired Marine, Colonel Jeffrey Powers. This is a letter to the NFL. Now, keep in mind, it's titled Marines letter. They don't quite emphasize if it's one Marine or two because of the apostrophe, but it's okay. But this is not all Marines, by the way. Not all Marines are saying this. But moving on. It says, Commissioner, I've been a season pass holder at Yankee Stadium, Yale Bowl, and Giant Stadium. I missed an 90-91 season because I was with a battalion of Marines in Desert Storm. Now, let's stop right there, okay? Well, so far, it's whatever, but let me make this clear. The NFL has nothing to do with the fact that he missed, that he was over there in Desert Storm for a year. Like, it's football players have nothing to do with that. That was a policy from the United States government that had him out there. I just want to make that clear. And let's make this clear, too. That was not a war of self-defense, okay? And if we didn't go to Desert Storm, like, we weren't fighting for our freedom. Like, that's not what that was, right? I just want to make sure that's clear. I'm not saying I'm not talking policy here. I'm not talking about my views on the Gulf War or anything like that. I'm just making that clear before we continue, right? He said, 14 of my wonderful Marines returned home with the American flag draped across their lifeless bodies. My last conversation with one of them, Sergeant Garrett Mongrella, was about how our Giants were going to the Super Bowl. He never got to see it. Now, again, is that the commissioner's fault? No. Is that the Giants' fault? No. Is that the NFL's fault? No. Is that the fault of people that watch, football? No. Is that Kaepernick's fault? No. The Kaepernick give the order for those guys to go and put their lives on the line in Desert Storm? No. Okay? The United States government put that order, right? Because they were trying to protect oil that Iraq was trying to take from Kuwait, right? Just making that clear. That was a war about oil. That wasn't about our freedoms. It had nothing to do with that, right? Just facts. Just putting that out there. I mean, does it mean I'm not happy about the guys dying and stuff like that? I think that's terrible. I think that's not good, right? I am for the troops. I don't want troops to die when it has nothing to do about our freedom. Okay, does that make sense to you? Anyway, my friends, Marine Special Forces soldiers who worked with or for me throughout the years returned home with the American flag draped over their coffins. Again, Goodell has nothing to do with this. The soldiers that are kneeling, by the way, they're not protesting the guys that died in Desert Storm or over the years in wars. They're not taking a knee because I didn't want those soldiers out there dying for me. Like, that's not what they're doing, but that's the impression that this is leading on, right? Now I watch multi-millionaire athletes who never did anything in their lives to play a game disrespect what brave Americans fought and died for. They are essentially spitting in the faces and on the graves of real men. Men who have actually done something for this country besides playing with a ball and believing there's something special. Now, granted, he's saying this. He's saying that they're spitting in the faces of the soldiers that died, okay, at the orders of a president, okay, in Desert Storm or any other war, right? This is that died, you know, not fighting for our freedom. And I understand that's not a politically correct thing to say that. It's not. Okay, but out there fighting in wars, you know, that had nothing to do with defending ourselves from our freedom. Like that's name me the last time we were at a war fighting for our freedom. Okay, what, Vietnam? Not Vietnam. Okay, that wasn't about freedom either. Okay, but nonetheless, okay, this is not an anti-soldier thing. I just want to make that, a lot of people can't separate that. But this guy's playing this card here. Now let's go to this, because this is what I'm hearing a lot. These athletes have done nothing with their lives. They're just a bunch of spoiled millionaires, and they're constantly bringing up the amount of money that these athletes make, right? Like, how dare you make all those millions and take a knee? Aren't you ungrateful piece of shit? How dare you? When you make millions, you should be happy. You should be appreciative, right? That's basically what they're saying. Now, let me make this very clear, okay? These athletes are super athletes in the NFL, right? They make that. I'm not going to go through the whole process of why they make this type of money, like everybody knows, all right? But they make that type of money because they're amongst the less than 1% of great athletes that could even make it in the NFL. That's why they're making this type of money, all right? That's number one. So let's leave their money out of it. You know, it's funny to me how, you know, you want to talk about their money and this, that, and the third, and they're a bunch of spoiled brats. But when it comes to Donald Trump, you know, who inherited his money, okay, all right, and never really did anything good for anybody, right? But him, you know, he's, according to you guys, he's done a lot of good things, right? NFL players, you don't know every NFL player individually. You don't know what some NFL players have done for their communities. You don't know what they've done in their personal life. You don't know what type of upbringing they had when they were growing up. You don't know them, each one of them personally. You're just assuming that they're just, you know, like, well, what, did we put a lottery out there and we just randomly picked, you know, some lucky winners to go play in the NFL? That's not the way it works. These are very good athletes who play at a very high level, and they're playing in the most popular sport in the United States. Everybody watches this game, and because there's so much demand and there's so many people making a lot of money out of this game, including the owners and the affiliates, okay, and the sponsors. The reason they put sponsorship, because they get a lot of advertisement out of it, right? DirecTV, okay, pays a lot of money for the Sunday ticket. Of course, the athletes are going to get a piece of that, right? That's, you know, that's capitalism. You know, that's what it's all about, right? So let's leave their money out of it. I keep hearing this narrative. Like, everybody knows why they make the type of money they make. Everybody knows that. You could get on this whole, it's not fair, yada, yada, yada. How many people can make it in the NFL? How many? How many people can actually become a third stringer in an NFL team? Very few. Very few people. All right? And since the league makes a lot of money, they get a piece of that money. That's why they're making the type of money they're making. Okay? Now, and the reason I'm saying that, because I keep hearing this narrative, like, oh, they're a bunch of spoiled. It has nothing to do with them being spoiled. It took a lot of hard work for them to make it to that level. a lot of dedication, and a lot of hard work, right? Some of them are just special athletes, and maybe they don't have to work as hard. But nonetheless, that's why they're making the type of money that they're making. Okay, so you can't just throw it in their face like, oh, you ungrateful son of a bitches. Look at the money you make, that America's done this and that and the third. Well, first of all, capitalism made that possible. So are you or are you not pro-capitalism? Well, do you want to live in a communist country where nobody makes that type of money? Like, you know, they got to give all the money to the government? Is that the type of, I thought that's not the type of government, you know, country you want to live in, right? I thought, that's what I thought, right? Now, we're going to get to disrespecting the truth, because when Donald Trump said about John McCain not being a real hero because John McCain was captured, oh yeah, because when he said that, when he said, I like guys that aren't captured, right? I like guys that aren't captured. He's not a hero. He was captured. I like guys that aren't captured. By the way, Donald Trump, who got 3 deferments, he got daddy, okay, to get him out of Vietnam. He didn't want to go to Vietnam, right? And this is a tough guy, telling everybody he's a tough guy, right? They wear T-shirts of Donald Trump standing on top of a tank with the American flag and shit, okay, with a gun in his hand, like he's been to war or some shit, okay? But when Donald Trump said John McCain isn't a real hero because John McCain was captured, they laughed it off, right? That's what Donald Trump supporters did. When the real spoiled brat, the one that was raised and inherited hundreds of millions of dollars, right? When the spoiled brat was saying that someone who was imprisoned and tortured for years and did not give out important information, right, while he was being tortured by the Vietnamese, that guy's not a hero. But and because he got captured, he said, right? That's forgivable. Like, they've looked over that. Oh, he misspoke. Could you just imagine? Just try to imagine Colin Kaepernick, right? Like somebody talking about the heroes, and then he says, well, they're not heroes. They're just heroes because they were killed. I like guys that weren't killed. Or I like guys that weren't captured. Could you imagine these hypocritical Donald Trump supporters, what they would be saying about Colin Kaepernick? Could you just imagine? And just to make it clear, right? I don't know who this guy's supporting, but I know that it's from a Donald Trump page, and they're all calling that they're sons of a bitches because they took a knee, right? But Donald Trump isn't a son of a bitch because he says he likes guys that aren't captured. That'd make him a son of a bitch. Right. Let's see if I could go back a little bit here. Hold on. Let's continue this letter here. Right. He says they're not doing anything special. My Marines and soldiers were. You are complicit in this. You'll find players for large and small infractions, but you lack the moral courage and respect of our nation and the fallen to put an immediate stop to this. Yes, I know it's their First Amendment right to behave in such a despicable manner. Right. So let me get this straight, all right? Let me make this really clear. And this is where people seem to be missing the boat, right? Isn't it funny that the guys that give the order to put troops in harm's way, and if they make a mistake and the troop dies, you can't criticize them, right? But Donald Trump sent some Navy SEALs to, and they had told him, hey, the Obama administration has not greenlighted this. It's a very dangerous mission. And sure enough, he greenlighted it in the middle of dinner A Navy SEAL dies. He's the one that gave the order now, right? But when they try to criticize Trump, like, hey, I don't know if he should have done that. I mean, there was no green light. You shouldn't be so disrespectful. Somebody just died for fighting for our freedom, which they weren't. That's the part that gets me. But nonetheless, they died fighting for our freedom. You can't disrespect the president like that, right? Yeah, when someone for an unrelated reason takes a knee in a football game, you know, they start throwing that in their face. Hey, do you know somebody died for you and you take a knee? We can't criticize the guy that gave the irresponsible order, but we could criticize someone who's not even kneeling with, it's not even related to that. And by this guy's logic, by the way, no one's ever done shit with their lives. Like only soldiers, that's it. By this guy's logic, right? Only soldiers and police are good for society. Everybody else is just a piece of shit, right? Everybody else hasn't done anything with their lives. They don't have a say. They don't have an opinion on this matter, and that's it. But by this guy's logic, right? And then here's the part that gets me. He admits it's their First Amendment right to do so. He admits it. He flat out says it. That's the end of the discussion. You calling it a despicable act is your opinion, man. That's your opinion. But it should end right there. It's their First Amendment right. Boom. Done. All right? Done. It's end of the discussion. What would happen if they came out and disrespected you and the refs publicly? Well, first of all, I have yet to be told how they're disrespecting the troops. Well, they're taking a knee. Well, have you spoken to them? Have you heard what they're saying? You're perceiving it as disrespecting the troops. But you know that's not even their intent. Like, everybody knows that's not what they're trying to do. Everybody knows that, okay? Like, everybody knows that. It's disrupting the norm of everybody just acting patriotic. It's disrupting that norm. It's making people feel uncomfortable. That's what it is, all right? So what do they come out and disrespect the league? And players disrespect and say shit about the NFL owners and the refs all the time. That's a straw man. That's a stupid, that's the dumbest shit I've heard. I observed a player getting a personal foul for twerking in the end zone after scoring. Now, do I agree that players should get, you know, penalized and for celebrating? I've always thought that was a stupid rule, okay? But that's during the game, right? That's a rule in the game. You know, I don't agree with it, but, you know, I don't know about twerking on the field, but excessive celebration and unsportsmanlike conduct and stuff like that, all right? All that is like in the rules, right? I mean, it's just the way it is. I mean, you know, there's just, I don't agree with it. I don't think that someone over excessively celebrating should cause a foul, right? Like, just let it be. It is what it is. But again, what he's saying is, oh, you'll find somebody for twerking, but not for kneeling and disrespecting and spitting on the troops. But the problem is that he is perceiving it that way, right? When someone's celebrating too long, then he's celebrating too long. I guess that's much worse than disrespecting the flag and our national anthem. Isn't his First Amendment right to express himself like an idiot in the end zone? Again, strawmanning the whole thing. Like, it's like he's not going to get arrested, okay, obviously, all right, for twerking in the end zone, right? But unsportsmanlike conduct and excessive celebrating is against the rules, right? This is unbelievable, right? Why is it taunting not allowed, yet taunting America is okay? You find players for wearing 9/11 commemorative shoes, yeah, you allow scum on the sidelines to sit, kneel, or pump their pathetic fists in the air. Right. Again, you know, this language, you know, calling players that are doing this scum, okay, and just the type of language that they're using, it, honest to God, I think they want to say other words. Like, I just, something tells me they want to say more, okay, but they're holding back, right? They're, you know, scum, pathetic excuses for human beings, stuff like that, right? They're throwing these things, they're pathetic fists in the air, and kneeling like pathetic pieces of shit. It's like this stuff I'm hearing like that. Okay, these scum, really putting emphasis on scum. Whenever people put emphasis on words that are insulting, that means they want to say more. That means they're trying to say something else. All right. But anyway, again, he's just drawing a straw man here. Okay, he's getting two unrelated instances, right? Like, first of all, this guy is not even addressing the fact that players weren't even going out to the field for the national anthem until 2009. All right? Like, I'm still hearing people, oh, we didn't get this back in the day. Because back in the day, they were in the locker room. All right? They were in the fucking locker room back in the day. All right? Like, get the hell out of here. This guy is not addressing, all right, the issue at hand. He has yet to address why who he is calling scum are protesting. They're making up reasons why, okay? And I'm seeing the memes. Like, I just saw a meme that goes, oh, they're making millions and they feel oppressed. Again, they're not getting the point. That's not why they're kneeling. That's not why they're kneeling. You could disagree with the reason, but at least get the reason right. That's been my point the whole time. You could even argue whether or not it's an effective way or whatever it is, but at least get the reason right. Right? Like, if you believe that police are holier than thou and they never do anything wrong, okay, then say that, but at least address the reason why they're kneeling. At least get the reason right, that they're not kneeling to disrespect dudes that died in Desert Storm, okay? They're not kneeling to disrespect, soldiers that died under the orders of a president, right? Or the orders of a general. That's not why they're kneeling. The soldiers aren't the only ones that go put their lives in the line, by the way, okay? There's a lot of informants that work over there south of the border, okay? And they get caught by drug cartels. They get fucking tortured, right? There's a lot of people putting their quote-unquote lives on the line under the orders of the government, all right? Now, if I say I'm for drug legalization, you can say, oh, how dare you? You're being disrespectful to DEA agents that have been caught and tortured, fighting against, these criminals that are trying to get our drugs over the border. Well, actually, I should think people do say that. Okay, so I shouldn't even go there. Okay, but people do say that shit. This guy is taking it way too personal. And the reason is, like, when I sit back and I go, why are they taking it so personal, right? This is about control, guys. This is what this is about, right? At the end of the day, they're fuming because they feel like we could tell these players what the fuck to do. Okay? Now they're using troops and dead troops and widows of troops that have died, and they're using that as a prop, right? And they're using other words like scum and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, it's about control. Okay? That's what it's about. Where was all the outrage, like, at this level when neo-Nazis were in the streets? I kept hearing about, hey, I don't agree with them, but it's their right to do so. I kept hearing that. And I actually agree with that, but it should apply in this instant, like, for real. There's nothing violent about this. They're not doing anything violent. They're not hurting anybody. They're not hurting you. You just want control. That's what you want. You hate, like, that's why it oozes out of them. Like, they hate the amount of money they make. They keep pointing that out, right? Like, with the amount of money they made, they should be good boys and shut up. That's what that is. All right, let's go on. They are so deprived with their multi-million-dollar contracts. You're playing a freaking game. Again, that is jealousy, man. Right? That's what that is. That's what that is. This individual is angry that these players make so much money. Right? That's well, why does he keep bringing that up? Why keep bringing that up? What is it to you what these guys make? And it's kind of like and if you're going to make that type of money, you should at the very least still let us control you. That's what this is. They're not getting paid money just to play a freaking game, okay? Nobody gets paid money just to play a freaking game. Like, if I go outside right now and start playing basketball, nobody's going to pay me, okay? Millions upon millions of people love the game, and they watch it, and they buy merchandise, okay? And a lot of millions of dollars come into the league, all right? So the players who play it at the highest level get a piece of that pie. And that's it. All right? What, you want all the billionaire owners to get all the money? So they get all the money. The players don't get anything? Like you want people to play football at the highest level and make minimum wage or what? You want it to make a you really think there will be a league if players are getting paid $35,000 a year? Moving on. You condone it all by your refusal to act. You're just as bad and disgusting as they are. I hope Americans boycott any sponsor who supports that rabble you call the NFL. I hope they turn off the TV when any team is allowed to disrespect to occur without consequence on the sidelines. You know what? Like, what? Do you want them to get arrested while they're kneeling? Or what do you want exactly? Do you want the owners to just fire these guys? They got guaranteed contracts, bro. Okay, you want the owners to just pay them millions of dollars to sit on the sidelines? And then who's going to replace them? These are super athletes. Like, are like, it's not like they could get you on the field and to replace. And this idea that they haven't taken action, yeah, they have. What are you talking about? You have a player right now, easily a top 20 quarterback, easily. Could probably argue top 10 in the league, who is not signed to the league. In a league with 32 teams, and teams have up to 3 quarterbacks on their rosters each. All right? Oh, yeah. They've taken some action. It's starting to backfire a little bit, right? And the more shit like this pops up, the more and more they're kneeling. It's going to start. What are you going to do? Get rid of the whole league or what? What are you going to do if every fucking black player in the league takes a knee? What are you going to do? What the fuck are you going to do? I'm just going to stop watching the NFL. Yeah, whatever. Get the fuck out of here. He said, I applaud those who have not. Legends and heroes do not wear shoulder pads. They wear body armor and carry rifles. Well, look, you're not a hero just because you wear armor and a rifle. Like, that doesn't automatically make you a hero, okay? It's just heroes come in all shapes and sizes, okay? To me, Robert Kennedy was a hero, okay? And he actually got shot and killed, right? But it's for other reasons. Like, he wasn't in the battle, like he wasn't in the front line shooting people, right? But Martin Luther King was a hero, right? There's different types of heroes, but I'm digressing. If you take this here, right, to say that never in the history have football players been heroes, well, I don't know about that. Like I said, you don't know the personal lives of these football players. Some of these football players, their kids look up to them, and they're a hero to their kids. Okay, now you may say like, what, like. That means a lot to a father, right? Okay? A lot of these guys came from nothing, and now they're playing in the most popular sport, arguably the best athletes in the world in the league right now. That is an accomplishment. Does that make him a hero? I guess not. Okay, but this statement is simply made to just downgrade what these football players have accomplished, right? It's that you're taking their natural talent and a lot of their hard work and you're spitting on it. I mean, you're talking about them spitting on you. No, you're spitting on them. This is projection at its finest. He says they make minimum wage and spend months and years away from their families. They don't do it for an hour on Sunday. They do it 24/7, often with lead, not footballs, coming at their direction. So what do you want us to do? Like every time a soldier walks by, you want me to roll the red carpet or what? You want me to bow down? Okay, what do you want me to do? Like what? Like in what way am I responsible for the orders that presidents and generals are making to send it to war? How am I responsible for that? Now, it'd be one thing if I was one of those people that were for the wars. If I was one of those people saying, yeah, let's go to all these wars, like, you know, like your president, right? That'll be one thing, but I'm not for these wars. So spare me, right? And also, what do these football players have to do with any of that? What does that have to do with anything? You want to talk about lead coming their way, right? Tamir Rice had lead coming his way for playing with a toy gun. You want to talk about unarmed civilians had lead coming their way? You want to talk about a man that was running away from a cop and he had lead coming his way? And the cop planted evidence next to him. He was caught on camera, still not found guilty. So we are talking about lead coming somebody's way. It's just that you're only picking and choosing which lead coming people's way you're talking about. So we can talk about lead coming people's way all you want. Well, we'll talk about that, but that's not what we're talking about here, is it? They watch their brothers carted off in pieces, not on a gurney, but with their knee ice. They don't even have ice. Many have legs or arm. Like, again, so now we can't, like when a football player breaks his leg, you know, they can't, you know, bring out a gurney because, you know, soldiers get their legs blown off in the middle of a war and they don't have a gurney. Like, what does that even mean, man? What the fuck is that? That's stupid. All right? Get the hell out of here. Somewhere, blue and risk their lives daily on the streets of America. They wear fire helmets and go upstairs to the fire rather than down to safety. On 9/11, hundreds vanished. They are the heroes. Now, it is true that a lot of firemen and police officers put their lives on the line to save people's lives, right, in 9/11. That's true. But I have no idea what this has to do with the topic at hand. So because police officers and firemen, which firemen is kind of random here, by the way, but since they risked their lives in 9/11 and firemen have risked their lives to save people's lives in fires, well, that's kind of the job requirement, by the way, right? But because that's happened, we can never criticize cops, right? A cop's just a 10-year-old playing with a gun. Hey, man, these cops, I mean, unrelated, but back in 9/11, they put their lives on the line. How dare you? Okay, voice your opinion about Tamir Rice getting shot. He says, they are heroes. I hope you're high paid protesting pretty boys and you look into the mirror when you shave tomorrow and see what you really are. Legends in your own minds. You need to hit the road and take those worms with you. Again, bringing up what they make and how much money they make. And, you know, it's when you are less than 1% of the elite athletes that can make it into the NFL, all right, then that'll be fine, okay? This guy's outraged about this, right? Like, he's outraged at these football players that are kneeling because he says this is spitting in the face and blah, 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 right? Speaking of the NFL and speaking of the military, remember that one dude, I forgot what team he was playing for? I kind of forgot his name, but I know that there's a Pearl Jam song, Worldwide Suicide, about that, okay? The Pentagon lied about this guy's death. They lied about it. They did not tell the truth that he died in friendly fire. But that wasn't disrespect, right? That's not disrespecting the truth. Lying about the way they died is not disrespect. And the White House, by the way, knew about this. And what did they do? They used it. Okay, when this guy died, they used it, and the NFL was in on it, and they were putting commercials out and all these specials, and they kept doing highlight reels about him with America the Beautiful playing in the background and all this, that, and the third to rile people up, patriotism, and a bunch of fucking liars. That's not even how. Now, they could have still done all that and told the truth, but they lied, right? When Congress doesn't, this guy keeps talking about what the troops get paid, like if it's the NFL players' fault. The NFL players aren't the members of Congress refusing to give raises to the troops. Okay? The NFL players aren't the ones, okay, that are refusing to, improve the VA. The NFL players aren't the ones doing that. You go talk to your Congress about that, right? A lot of which you fucking vote in. But you believe their words and you don't look at their fucking actions. The military budget goes up. That's not going to go to the troops. It's going to go to more bombs, and it's going to go to military contractors, and it's going to go to sending more people off to die. That's what that's going to do. When politicians come on here and they lie, they tell you that there's weapons of mass destruction in Iraq, and it's not true. And they send young 18-year-olds to go die. You see, the issue with all this is with them, not with the NFL players. Anyway, he says, time to change the channel. Guys, if you guys don't want to watch football, nobody's forcing you to watch football. Don't watch it then, okay? Go watch something else, right? It's obviously hurting you. That's why, if you didn't care and you're like, oh, I'm not going to support it then you would just do that. You wouldn't put all this shit on Facebook. You wouldn't constantly be posting on Facebook, I'm done, I'm never going to watch ever again. You wouldn't be talking about it over and over again, right? You love the game, okay? You love football. You want to watch football. You want to watch your team play. People love football, right? Football is part of American culture, all right? So, of course, they get paid. And at the end of the day, but then you want to act like, oh, these players aren't shit. Fucking spoiled motherfuckers. They don't even deserve those millions. No, they don't deserve the millions? Then who should get all the money? All the fucking billionaire owners or what? They should get all the money? Like the NFL players should just play for free, is what you're saying. So because soldiers make $35,000 a year, right? Do you give up the rest of your salary? If you make $50,000 a year, do you donate, $15,000, to veterans and stuff because you're making more money than them? Do you do that? Well, when your boss says, "Hey, we're going to give you a big raise, man. You're going to make $10,000 more a year," do you say, "No, there's people dying, and you're going to give me a raise"? Go talk to the government about giving them a raise. Is that what you do? I mean, did Donald Trump say, "No, I don't want this money, Dad"? Okay, I feel bad that I avoided Vietnam 3 fucking times, right? I said I had bad ankles, even though I was playing sports. Okay, dude was playing baseball and shit and squash. Get the fuck out of here, all right? Okay, Donald Trump was caught lying about, keeping donations for veterans and shit, using it for his campaign, right? No, but that's not a despicable move. No. Taking a knee is a despicable move. It had nothing to do. They injected the troops into it, okay? They injected the troops. If it's just football and it's not a big deal, and it's these guys are nothing, they're not heroes or nothing. It's just a game. They're just playing with a ball, right? If that's all it is, well, what the fuck do you care? If they do the national anthem before the game, then why do you care? And you know I got you there. Well, why do you care then? If it's just they're just playing with a ball, they're not special. They're not heroes. They're nothing. Ooh, they make a lot of money because they play with a ball. If it's just a game with a ball, then that's it. Then why even do the national anthem? Why even do it then? What makes football so special that we have to do the national anthem right before? It must be a pretty special game to this country. The players playing in it must mean something if we have to do the national anthem before. Right? It's got to be offending you to this degree for a reason. No, but what? No, but there's no buts. Anyway, let me and I'm not against paying the troops more money. I mean, a small percentage of the military budget goes to the troops. A small percentage of it. If it was up to me, a lot of these military contractors wouldn't be getting the type of money they're getting. Okay, they wouldn't be able to buy out politicians the way they do. And they always hide behind the veil of the troops. No, but no, that's okay. I mean, it's true. I mean, football players taking a knee, that's unforgivable. Okay, that's unforgivable. Starting a war and lying to people, saying it's about their freedom, no, that's perfectly fine. And if the troops die, you're not held responsible for that, right? That's perfectly acceptable. This is the type of a twisted logic society we live in. At the end of the day, all opinions aside, it is their right to take the knee for whatever reason they choose, right? But if you're going to disagree, at the very least, be accurate why they're taking the knee, right? At the very least, do that. See, acting patriotic and putting your hand over your chest is easy. That's easy. There's nothing hard about that, right? You want to keep talking about how, it's easy to be a football player. You know, they're overpaid. Well, you acting patriotic and offended on Facebook is even easier than that, okay? So you're not doing anything heroic yourselves. And to this Marine, well, that's his opinion, man. That's his opinion. There's other Marines that feel differently. Anyway, those are my thoughts. I'm out.